Hello and welcome back to the Sustainable Weight Loss channel. I am Dr. Leslie Goth and it is wonderful to be with you here again today. Thank you so much for joining me. Today's topic, we are going to talk about why your issues with food have nothing to do with food. I know, it sounds really kind of crazy, doesn't it? But unless you have some type of a thyroid issue, and I do recommend people get a physical and check yourself head to toe. Make sure there's no allergies going on. Make sure just physically everything is kind of where it needs to be. Hormones have a huge impact on our weight, and so getting things checked medically is always a really good idea. So I highly recommend that. Let's say everything checks out medically. Thyroid's good, hormones are all in the normal range, all those kinds of things. Okay, let's just say that's kind of where you're at. Your issues with food have nothing to do with food. It has to do with stress. It has to do with either eating too much or not enough, believe it or not. It could have to do with eating mindlessly, meaning you're just eating without any kind of awareness of what you're doing or why. It could have to do with anxiety or depression. So if any of those things resonate with you, then keep listening. So I want to talk to you today and have a conversation, even though it's only going one way, but to get you thinking about, gee, is my issue with food really not about food? And what I mean by that is, what if there were no good foods and bad foods? What if your weight had nothing to do with what you're eating, but maybe how much you're eating? And maybe it has to do with why you're eating. And if you're eating throughout the day or the evening, but you're not hungry, that could be kind of an issue. If we eat when we're not hungry, that could be an issue. If we eat let's say you start eating when you are hungry, but then you keep eating beyond satiation or where you could be comfortable, that could be a problem. If you're eating emotionally to kind of manage feelings that feel unpleasant, then that could be emotional eating, and we're just kind of numbing our emotions. We're numbing pain, we're numbing stress, we're numbing our feelings or avoiding them. It's a numbing or avoiding tactic. That all could be part of the problem. When our relationship with food isn't simply, I'm looking for nutrition, I'm looking for something that is satiating, that's satisfying, that tastes good. And if we're eating beyond hunger, when we're not hungry anymore, then that's a problem. It's not about what you're eating. It could be about how much, it could be and why. Why are you eating and how much? So that's my challenge. Why are you even eating? Are you bored? Are you lonely? Are you stressed out? Those are a lot of very normal reasons why people kind of eat and gain weight, because they're not really even hungry. They're just using food to cope with something else that's going on. So if you're going to start to have a healthy relationship with food, which is my desire to teach you that, then we're going to have to change some things around, and we're going to have to open up your eyes and ears and help you be more aware of why you're eating, what you're eating, and how much are you eating, and making sure that you're aware of what you're doing. So many women that I work with are just on autopilot. Men too. Men are not excluded from this situation. We come home from a long, stressful day at work, and we just start going through the pantry or the refrigerator, and we just start eating mindlessly because it's been a long, stressful day, or we're hungry and tired, so we could be hangry at that time, or we're just, wanting to manage the stress of the day, and I deserve to eat this food. That's another mindset that could be kind of shooting yourself in the foot, don't you think? So it's important, as I start to challenge you to have a healthier relationship with food, that you start to think about why you're eating and how much. Again, it's not necessarily what you're eating. There are no good foods and bad foods. Now that's something you're going to hear me say that so often on this channel. There's no good food, bad food. Diets have taught you that there's good food and bad food. Salad is good, hamburger is bad. Vegetables good, pizza is bad. Fruit and vegetables are okay, but anything with, sugar, not good. Not good, that's bad. And if you eat those foods, then you're bad. And that's gonna be a whole nother episode. How to get rid of some of that shame and guilt you feel for eating bad food that you've been taught through the diet world. What if there were no good foods and bad foods, and you could have any food you wanted? If you have an allergy or there are certain foods that just, cause you to have some type of reaction, then I would obviously recommend you not go to those kinds of foods. Aside from any allergies, what if you could eat whatever you wanted, but you did it in a way where you're being really intentional, you know what you're doing, you're enjoying every single bite, you can taste it, you're enjoying it, you can get satisfied and satiated from what you're eating and not feel like you're eating because you deserve it, because you're trying to manage an emotion or avoid an emotion or just get through the day. So this is my challenge, that what you're eating is not the issue. It's why are you eating and how much. I want you to start to be challenged on why are you eating? Are you even hungry? Do you know how to even tell your own hunger and fullness? If you don't, then it's important to reach out and let's talk about this some more. It has to start, you have to know your own hunger and fullness. You have to make sure you're not waiting until you're starving to eat. And you have to make sure you're not eating all the way to that point where you want to unbutton your pants because you're so full. We want to find that sweet spot in the middle where you're aware of, I'm not too hungry, I'm not going to eat my own hand, and I'm not overeating where to the point I have to unbutton my pants. We want to be in that middle ground. And so knowing if you're even hungry when you're eating, that's really, really important. So are you even hungry when you're eating? If you're not hungry and you're eating, then I'd love for you to start to ask yourself, why are you eating? Is there something emotional going on? Or are you bored? Is there something else you could be doing that would be more fulfilling that's not about food? Could you be doing a puzzle? Could you read a book? Could you be, crocheting or doing something with your hands that would feel more fulfilling if you're bored? If emotions are going on and you're just trying to avoid emotions, that's understandable. We live in a very, very, very stressful time right now. And a lot of people are turning to food or a variety of substances to manage that stress and anxiety and angst that we're kind of in on a daily basis. So that's understandable, but it's not serving you, right? It's not helping you reach your goals. It's not helping you get to that place where you look in that mirror and you are excited about what's being reflected back at you. So it's going to be really important that if you're using food to manage your emotions, that you start to find other tools and ways to manage those emotions. And that's what a sustainable weight loss coach can help you do. So that's something to start to just be aware of. Why are you eating if you're not hungry? Ask yourself the question, what is really trying to be fulfilled? What are you really needing? Maybe it's not food. Maybe you need something else. Maybe you need a walk around the block. Maybe you need to call a friend. Maybe you need to take a warm bath. I don't know what you need. You will only know the answer to that question when you look inward and ask yourself. So that's kind of the first step. If you're eating when you're not hungry, why? Why are you eating if you're not hungry? And if you're eating past satiation, why? Is it because the food tastes so good? Guess what? Save it for later. You can have it later when you're actually hungry for it. I know, mind-blowing. So here's my challenge for today. Your issues with food is not about food. Start to become aware of why you're eating if you're not even hungry. If you're hungry, then please, by all means, eat. Just be aware of what you're eating and how much, so that the goal is you stop eating when you're satiated, when you're comfortable in your body, knowing that you can always eat again later when you're hungry again. So there are my challenges for you. Again, you can find me at lesliegothcoaching.com. You can sign up for my free masterclass right there on that website. You can find me on Facebook at Leslie Goth Coaching, and you can certainly find me on Instagram at Leslie Goth Coaching. So I look forward to seeing you back here again. Reach out with any questions, because I will be here to answer your questions along the journey. We are on a journey. We are not on a sprint. This is not Amazon Prime where you get all the answers by tomorrow. This is going to be a process of learning, being challenged, leaving the diet world, and learning how to have a healthy relationship with food so that you can have a healthy relationship with your body and love what you see in the mirror. I will see you back here next time. Bye-bye.